I also do thank the Press Club for the honor of Newsmaker of the Year 2011. I have indicated to the Press Club that ordinarily I am not sure how to respond to such awards, because being Newsmaker of the Year could mean that you were the loudest voice in the country and the most common face, possibly, in the media. And surely that's not an achievement. But I've been assured by the Johannesburg Press Club that the honor was given in my name, but in reality, it was a recognition of the work that the Public Protector South Africa team as a whole has been doing in pursuing its constitutional responsibility of helping the people of South Africa to exert accountability in the exercise of state power and control over state resources. I'm particularly honored to be here because the contribution of the media and the academic community in promoting public dialogue is extremely important. And these two communities also have a role in incorporating the role of the Public Protector South Africa in the dialogues that they promote. My team and I value platforms of this nature as they contribute to our endeavors to ensure that our services are accessible to all persons and communities in compliance with Section 182(4) of the Constitution. Good governance is about good decisions arrived at through good decision making by those in exercising entrusted power. Good decisions are obviously those made in the best interest of the people that have entrusted the decision makers with power and the broader stakeholder community. Good decision making, on the other hand, incorporates exercising entrusted power within the limits of assigned authority, with utmost integrity, participation of the power givers or beneficiaries, and accountability. By implication, transparency in the exercise of entrusted power is an important part of good governance. Do we often, as people in this country, play similar roles to these 6 people? Do we often fail to act just because we don't want people we don't like or approve of to benefit? But what does all of the above have to do with the assertion that citizens are key to good governance? Let us go to our Constitution. Our Constitution promises the people of this country a better deal than they got under apartheid. Among other provisions, the preamble states the following: we, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past. We honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic, so as to do the following: heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law. Improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person. And build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. You will agree with me that the social conditions envisaged in the Constitution require the transformation of our society and the state. Indeed, a perusal of the Constitution confirms that the framers of our Constitution expected the state to be transformed to operate differently than it did under apartheid. If things are not the way they should be, what is our responsibility as citizens of this country and co-architects of our destiny? Yesterday, I released 5 reports presenting my findings on allegations of maladministration and directives on relief and on remedial action in pursuit of the powers and responsibilities assigned to me and my office under Section 182 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and the Public Protector Act of 1994. A common denominator in those stories is the cost of indifference within the public service. And that cost is borne by ordinary people, many of them older persons, and many of them poor people. By the way, Professor, I just want to indicate that my office is there for citizens and non-citizens. One of the cases we've dealt with, for example, was somebody who was a non-national, impacted by maladministration, not even in this country, in one of our embassies. So you don't have to be a citizen to access the services of the Public Protector. In a country that has committed itself to halve poverty by 2015 as one of its Millennium Development Goals, how do we still allow these acts of indifference? How do we allow blatant abuse of power to plunge millions of our people into poverty? How is this consistent with the state's commitment to faithfully implement our globally celebrated Constitution, which promises an improved quality of life for all its citizens, anchored in a Bill of Rights that is enforceable? You may be wondering, but those are omissions of public servants, not of citizens. That's true. However, we must recall that public employees are citizens too. Furthermore, don't we often see wrongdoing and do nothing about it as long as it doesn't affect us directly? There are also areas where public sector wrongs involve a combination of wrongdoing by public sector actors acting in collusion with private sector actors. But where there is corruption, it is principally a matter of collusion between private persons and state actors. Clearly, a lot of the corruption that concerns us as a nation involves huge amounts of money, particularly in the state procurement system. With regard to corruption, however, there is one area where all ordinary citizens can make a difference on a day-to-day basis. This is in the area of what is referred to as petty corruption or retail corruption. For example, what about thinking twice next time before bribing a traffic officer? What about that health inspector or environmental inspector? We could also hit calls such as those made by Corruption Watch and the Minister for Public Service and Administration to do something about corruption. When we see something, we must not look the other way. It is said that evil prospers not because of the might of the evil people, but because of the silence of good people. It is for this reason that as one of the guardians of the Protected Disclosures Act and the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, my office has persistently called for the strengthening of whistleblower protection. Furthermore, when genuine whistleblowers come to my office for protection after suffering an occupational or other detriment, we use all available legislative powers of my office to ensure that such protection is guaranteed. What opportunities exist for citizens and residents to work with my office in pursuit of good governance in state affairs? As you know, my office operates under Section 181 and 182 of the Constitution, with the power to support and strengthen constitutional democracy by investigating and reporting any alleged or suspected improper conduct in all state affairs or the public administration, to report on that conduct and to take appropriate remedial action. Section 182.2 provides for possible additional powers which over the years have culminated in the following key statutory mandate areas. The first of the six is the power to investigate and redress maladministration and related wrongs such as abuse of power, capricious or discourteous conduct, undue delays, abuse of state resources, unjust enrichment, corruption, and others under the Public Protector Act of 1954. The second one is the power to investigate alleged executive ethical lapses, covering alleged ethical lapses by all members of the Cabinet and provincial executive committees. The third statutory mandate is the power to investigate offences in Part 124 and Section 17, Section 20, and Section 21 of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act of 2004, read with the Public Protector Act. The fourth power involves receiving protected disclosures from whistleblowers and protecting them under the Protected Disclosures Act of 2000. The fifth power is to resolve access to information disputes through ADR and other measures deemed appropriate under the Promotion of Access to Information Act of 2000. The sixth power is a very strange power given to the Public Protector. It is the power to review the decisions of the National Home Builders Registration Council. As indicated earlier, many citizens and residents already work with my office in the pursuit of good governance, and in the process, they help strengthen constitutional democracy. Some take their concerns to the media, with many of these ending up as the subject of complaints lodged with my office. There can be no true peace anywhere as long as there is injustice somewhere. Whether we like it or not, our destiny is a shared one, like the people that sat with a dying fire between them, while dithering about contributing their pieces of wood. Can you imagine what would happen if we were to stop pointing fingers and identify our roles in causing the maladministration and corruption, as well as our roles in helping the country solve these problems? How far would we go as a nation if we held people entrusted with public power accountable for all wrong acts, and not just those that affect us personally, but also those that affect the global families of this country, such as Mrs. Mutaka, who was looking for her pension for 14 years. These are people who can't speak for themselves. Would our acts not help alleviate poverty and other social maladies that are exacerbated by public wrongs? You must agree with me that if our people were empowered by organizations such as Ndifuna Igwasi to exert accountability in the exercise of state power meaningfully, using dialogues and channels availed by the Constitution and the law, there wouldn't be much need for mass action. If our people knew exactly where to go and how to assert themselves and how to exert accountability from people in officialdom, they wouldn't feel helpless and hopeless and resort to violence. My team and I have established that there is a strong need to educate people about how government works. People need to be informed how to get involved in the planning and development of their own cities. This happens in the context of integrated development plans of municipalities. People need to know that they have a right to complain, but also be assisted to approach the right channels for those complaints, with a view to holding those who exercise public power accountable. Many people bear the brunt of maladministration for years, and some end up accepting their fate, not knowing that they could hold somebody accountable. It is for those who are enlightened amongst us that can end that suffering. It is said that each set of citizens get the government it deserves. If we want an accountable government that acts with integrity and the best interest of all its people, we need to up our input towards the pursuit of good governance and ultimately a strong constitutional democracy. This is the right time to act. In 12 months' time, our democracy turns 20. What will we tell our children about what we did to get things right? The future of our country lies in the hands of each and every single one of us. We are co-architects of our democracy and our destiny.